Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the DieCast Den. It's been a few days, almost a week since I've posted a video, and that was because I have been out of town on vacation to Tennessee with the family. Um, the Gatlinburg slash Pigeon Forge, Sevierville area, a very popular touristy area, and as you can imagine, there are tons of toy shops, souvenir stores, antique shops, all that kind of stuff, flea markets. So I made out with a ton of cars the last few days from various places. Got some newer ones as well as some pretty older ones, just a variety. Got a whole bag of them right here. The bag probably weighs like, I don't know, 10 pounds or something, just about. But Uh, got a lot of stuff to show you, so we should probably just get started with it. All this stuff. Alrighty, so I did pick up just two loose cars while I was down there from a vendor who had them for about 50 cents a piece, so couldn't resist picking up a few, just a couple. This first one here is a really old Porsche casting from Hot Wheels. This is the Porsche P911, basically, is the casting. Very, very old and cartoony ish casting. This casting made its debut all the way back in 1975. So this is a very, very old tooling. And it ran from 1975 all the way to 2001. So a few years shy of 30 years. And like I said, it's not very, you know, accurate proportion wise and to scale. It's kind of cartoony like a lot of the old models, but I don't know, something about it. I just like to have all sorts of Porsche castings in general. If they're super hideous or stupid, I probably will pass them up, but I don't know. It's just a classic old Porsche casting. I do have I think it's a red version with the same wheels. And yeah, I'm not quite sure when this color here was released, but old casting got a metal base, metal body, so nice and heavy. Second loose one that I got here is the 59 Impala. So I want to say that this particular color was released in the late 90s or early 2000s. I actually have this car loose already, but it is from all the way back to when I was a kid. I don't know, anywhere from maybe 7 to 10 years old, and it's pretty beat up. I used to never wasn't always a Hot Wheels collector, but as a kid, we usually play with Hot Wheels at some point or another, and I would race them, down slides and outside and everything on dirt. So I saw this guy for 50 cents, and it's almost mint. So I figured I'd pick this one up, even though I already have it, and it just looks so much better. The other one I have is super beat up and just been played with, but it's just a nostalgia thing, memories. Got only a handful of Hot Wheels in my collection that have been around since I was a kid. A lot of those got trashed or just buried in the yard or, whatever. But yeah, this is a nice little casting. Copyright is 1996. So it probably came out in 1996 or 97, and I'm sure this color was released sometime around then or a couple years later. But yeah. And speaking of the 59 Impala, let's see if I can find it in this ginormous bag of cars. Let's see. Sorry. Here it is. Sorry, guys. I also picked up a carded version of the 59 Impala, but in white here. Got the same wheels. Looks like this one came out in 1998 or 99, depending on the copyright. It's what those old cards from the late 90s looked like. But yeah, I just really like this. It's a very clean model, or paint job on the model. Just looks really good, I think. And there we are. I'm not sure if they still make this casting or not. I think they might have discontinued it or retooled it, because I think there is another like 59 Impala or something, Bel Air casting or something that kind of replaced it maybe. I can't remember. It's so hard to keep track of all these millions of cars. But yeah, I just really like this one. It's got the goldish base, like the previous one here. Well, this one's much more gold than that one. But yeah, I'm a really old classic cars aren't always my thing, really. A lot of them kind of all look the same and are a little boring, in my opinion. But I don't know, something about old Chevys and like Bel Airs and Impalas. I like them a lot, and I think this is a pretty good casting, even though it's pretty old. But yeah, 259 Impalas. Moving right along, we've got a pretty darn old one here. It's on the blue card. We've got a fat fendered 40. And this guy looks like it came out, wow, in 1992. That was the year I was born. Literally 32 years ago this casting came, or no, this release, I'm sorry, came out in 1992. This casting is based off of, it's pretty much a two-door 1940 Ford. And let's see, the debut of the casting was 1983. So we got another pretty old one here. Not quite as old as the well, no, this is the oldest car I picked up. This is the oldest casting tooling from the bunch, but this release here is the oldest car by far that I picked up in my big haul. I do not have one of these in my collection. And I've seen them on eBay a few times, and I thought they looked pretty cool. But they're, you know how eBay is. Most of the time, they're asking for $7, $8 for an old car like this, plus another $7 or something for shipping, and it's just like, nah. But I'm pretty sure I got this for just a few bucks. They are a little pricier now. The old school blue cards like this, since they are over 25 years old now, they demand a little bit more of a premium. But yeah, basically a two-door 1940 Ford. And I like the simplicity, and not always my thing, like I said, but yeah, something about it just grabbed my attention, and I'm a fan. I definitely think Hot Wheels has stepped up their game by miles over the years, but they made some cool little old ones like this. Alrighty. Moving on to the early 2000s now. Back to this style card. This is a 2003 first edition of the Hyundai Tiburon. I have this car in the white version, but now I've got it in the black version. Paid $5 for it, so pretty much cheaper than you'd get it on eBay for in most cases. I am not a huge fan of the orange tinted windows and the orange interior and all the crazy deco, but I think it's a decent little casting. Pretty decent replica of a Tiburon. Like I said, this came out in 2003. I'm not sure if they still make this or not. I should have looked that up, but obviously it has not been released. If you keep up on releases, it's not been released in a very long time as far as I'm concerned. So they might have discontinued it or made a final run of it. I am not sure. But yeah, I do like this in black. Looks pretty sharp, even though it looks like a toy, but that's okay. It is a toy. Yeah, this was Hyundai's little sporty front wheel drive coupe that they made in the late 90s and early 2000s. And I believe that the successor of the Tiburon was pretty much the Hyundai Genesis coupe, which was rear wheel drive instead of front wheel drive. But that is the Hyundai Tiburon. Okay, and moving on to a 2001 release, I believe it looks like. We've got a shoebox. I've always seen this casting on eBay and wondered what it actually was. Like if it was just a fantasy model or if it was based. I mean, it is a fantasy model, but if it was based on a real car, and it is actually supposed to be a 1949 Ford Custom Club Coupe. So yeah, 1949 Ford. And I don't know, something about this light purple color with the white wheels just looks really really cool, clean and old school to me. Do not have a example of this casting other than this one. So this was my first shoebox. And they did have a treasure hunt release of this, which was basically back then the treasure hunts were the super treasure hunts that they are now. They came with the real riders and the rubber tires, but they were not called super treasure hunts back then. They were just called treasure hunts. And I'm not sure what year it was, maybe mid 2000s, where they came up with the treasure hunt and super treasure hunt idea. But the treasure hunt version of this is in a like similar-ish pinkish purple and looks really good. So I'd like to get my hands on that sometime if possible. Typical chrome base, copyright 2000, so probably came out in 2001, like I said. And it has some dice on the side and says lucky niners, something like that. Lucky nines, I don't know. But anyway, nice, cool little old classic car casting. Really like the color. Moving right along, we've got a nice little one here, a 2001 first edition, something we don't see anymore, a Ferrari. This is the Ferrari 156, and I had to look this up because I had never seen this casting before. That's what they looked like when I was a kid. But yeah, 2001 first edition. I believe this was like a little Formula One or some kind of race car. I'm not sure. Picked it up for $6 though, which, being a Ferrari, that's a pretty good deal nowadays, since Hot Wheels no longer has its license to do Ferrari castings. I don't know if they'll ever get it back or if we're just SOL on Ferraris with Hot Wheels or what, but I thought this was a cool little cute casting. Got some pretty nice little detail in there. Got nice exhaust pipes coming out, chrome. Number 2, got your Ferrari logo. So yeah, thought that was a neat little find. But seeing as how I didn't even know it was a casting, I really don't know much about the car itself in real life. If anyone does, feel free to inform me. I I would love to know. If you share your knowledge with me, it's much appreciated. There's just so many cars over the years, so many castings. It's hard to keep track and keep up. But yeah, that's a cool little one. I really like that. Right. Next up, we have a very nice little release that I found. I mentioned the Final Run series earlier. This is the Stutes, I think that's how you pronounce it, Stutes Blackhawk 1999 Final Run. Comes in this nice little Final Run box here. All tools destroyed, special tires, exclusive decoration. I thought those might be rubber tires. But yeah, I only have one example of this casting, and it was a mainline release that was in a like tealish color. But yeah, I could not pass this up. It just looks so sharp, and they only wanted $10 for it, so I said, "Let's do it." And I hate to destroy this nice packaging that it's in. Assuming I can get it out. But only $10, and it's okay. I pretty much open everything except supers. I'll only open those once in a while. This is another really old tooling. This Blackhawk here came out or debuted in 1980 and ran until this 1999 final run release. I think this is absolutely beautiful. Very nice detail, especially for a 1999 Hot Wheels car. Sorry. But yeah, as you can see, it's got real riders, and like I assumed, it's got the rubber tires on it. Says Stutz or Stutz Blackhawk. Just some really nice detail. Thing is awesome. Only $10. I believe the only other final run car that I've purchased in that crazy little packaging was the 93 Camaro final run. I forget what the color was, but picked that up at a flea market a couple years ago and haven't picked one up since. But I saw this along with a few other ones, and they really do look sharp. So yeah, that's really pretty. Nice gold base, metal on metal. Got some good weight to it. Just looks fantastic in my opinion. Alrighty. Next up, got a nice little JDM car here. We've got a faster than ever Nissan 370Z from 2011. These wheels on here are called the Trap 5 wheels, as in trapezoid. And I guess the faster than ever releases are supposed to go faster down the track with those wheels. But yeah, I have a ton of these Nissan 370Zs. I really like the casting. It's a bit small, a bit too small in scale, if you ask me. I'm not a expert on scales, but it's a pretty small casting. This casting made its debut in 2010, and this particular release here in pearl white, as I mentioned, was a 2011 release. There's been so many mainline releases of this casting. There's been a couple Fast and Furious basic releases and a bunch of different multi-pack exclusive colors of this car as well. You don't see it very often anymore in a regular carded single card in the main line. It's usually in a multi-pack anymore if it's released. And I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure we have never had a premium release of the 370Z, which would be pretty cool. We've got the 2023 Nissan Z casting out now, and that's had a number of mainline releases and a couple premium already. But I don't believe we've had a premium metal base version of this one. But yeah, I really love these cars. I think they look better than the 350Zs. It's got a 3.7 liter Nissan VQ V6 engine, and it put out 332 horsepower, something like that. And naturally aspirated V6, and it was very quick and fast for its time. This car came out, the real one came out in 2009 and ended production in maybe 2022 or something like that, when they were going to start making the new Z, twin turbo Z. But yeah, this is a nice little pearl white. Not very good detail on the back. For some reason, they like to do the Nissan logo and 370Z logo, but not the tail lights. But they always do the headlights, and looks pretty good to me. Could use a little more detail, but the guy wanted $20 for this because it's a JDM, and I'm like, nah. And they're pretty desperate, and I ended up getting them down to $12 for this, which is still probably too high. But I looked them up on eBay, and they do demand quite a premium for these anymore. Up next, we've got a special, kind of special release, limited release. This was a Mustang set celebrating 50 years of Mustangs. This set was released in 2014, so just about a year before I started seriously collecting, which was 2015. So I just missed these. Don't remember seeing them in the stores because I wasn't really looking. But yeah, this was a nice little set. Here were all the cars. And I don't think I have any of these except the 07 now here. But yeah, I only picked this one up for only $3. So couldn't pass that up. I like these. I like Mustang castings, especially the newer ones. But this is a pretty sharp color combo release, I think. Very nice. Let's see. So if this was it's an 07 Mustang, so I'm sure it probably came out in 2007 or something like that. Doesn't have a copyright date on it. But yeah, I am a fan of this casting. They like to release it anymore with usually some dumb design or deco on it, but this is a cool release. Alrighty, so we're gonna travel forward in time now to this year. I was at a Walmart down in Sevierville near Gatlinburg, and found some. What are these? These are H case cars. Um, one's E case, and the rest look like they were from the H case. So got a few new ones here. This is an E case release. Maybe it was originally from the D and carried over. I can't remember. But this is the Aston Martin 1963 DB5 from Hot Wheels Screen Time. I have maybe 2 releases of this casting. They're usually released in a James Bond set or theme. A lot of Aston Martins are. But I think this is a very nice release for a mainline, especially. Very good detail in the front and the back. Very clean. I like this a lot. I believe this casting came out in what? Yep, I was going to say 2014. Copyright 2013. So probably 2014. I think there's been maybe 1 or 2 releases of it premium for a James Bond entertainment release or something. But mainly it's been in the main line. But this is a pretty good main line. Look, pretty main. Sorry, I can't talk. Good looking main line. All right, up next, got the Ford F-150 Lightning Custom from the Hot Wheels Green Speed, as it's an electric truck. H case. I'm not a huge fan of electric cars. They're very fast, yes. And I don't think this is really the best casting. It's just way too modified and racy, really, for my taste. It works sometimes, but it's a little over the top, in my opinion. But you know how it is. Hot Wheels likes to do that. Usually, Matchbox is the one that comes out with these more basic everyday cars, but in a stock factory form, whereas Hot Wheels likes to make everything a drag racer or a rice burner. But anyway, I really like the color combination on this, is why I got it. I got the first release of it in blue last year, whenever that was. And just haven't really picked it up since, but I really like this color combo. It's got some cool detail. It's not a bad casting. It's just like I've said in many times, I just like when cars look more realistic. But I like this in black. And I believe Matchbox does have an F-150 Lightning EV casting. But yeah. So another one that I'm kind of on, torn, is the recolor here of the Corvette C6. Came out in orange, I think, earlier this year, and had better wheels on it. I do like these new lace style wheels. Can't remember the official name, but in yellow they just look kind of odd, I think, on here. Kind of looks like a nacho cheese car or something, but I do like the casting, and I think the paint job looks good. I just don't like the yellow on the wheels. Probably would have looked better in black or gray. I think this might have been a G case car, but this particular one was a H case carryover. But yeah, I like Corvettes a lot. All generations and models, pretty much. And I do like this casting, like I said, but it's been kind of goofy with their wheel choices here and there. But it's got some good detail. I think it looks good. The orange one was better, but I think the yellow, black, and red looks really good on the car. All right, up next we've got a the third recolor of the McLaren Solus GT from the H case, now in orange with the crazy splatter paint design, whatever you want to call it. The first release was like a basic orange, or I'm sorry, white and black release, very clean looking. And then the second release came in a nice blue color with some very faint uh, splatter designs or whatever you want to call this on it. But it was much more subtle on the blue one than this one. So not really my thing, at least paint job wise, but I don't know. Overall, I think it looks sharp. Kind of goofy, but I don't know. I'm weird. It's kind of a crazy looking car to begin with. Very exotic. I believe these have a V10 engine in them, and it looks like it might be like an electric vehicle, but it is not. It is a ICE car. Like I said, with a it's like a 4.2 liter V10, like a smaller V10, something like that. I looked it up a while ago, but it's not a turbo V8 like a lot of the cars are, like the Senna 720S. So yeah, it's not bad. These next two I'm very excited about though. This next one was originally in the G case, but I was never ever able to find it. The G case has been so weird. I've seen the peg warmers all over the place at Walmart's from the G case, but I can never find the white Civic or the green Skyline, the Bel Air Gasser, the Hero Hada Merc, whatever. I've not seen a single one of any of those anywhere, or this one, until that Walmart I went to on vacation. And I picked up two of these guys that I found, one to open, one to keep carded. This is a brand new model for 2024 BMW N3 wagon. So I'm sure a lot of you have already seen this, maybe even bought it. But like I said, I've had really bad luck finding the G case cars. And they're already showing pictures of a red one, a red recolor that is coming out later this year. So old news, but kind of new to me. This is very cool though. I love this. It's got those lace wheels like on the Corvette, but in this case, I think it looks way better in white with the blue design. And it looks to me like the taillights are a separate piece of plastic, maybe the same piece as the windshields. And then sorry, whoops. It's like a Mustang driver, haha. And it looks to me like the front headlights might be a plastic piece as well. So that's a nice touch. You can get your headlights and taillights technically without giving up tampos on the rest of the car. Seems like you only get two out of the three usually. You don't usually get headlights, taillights, and full detail on main lines. Once in a while you will, like the Liberty Walk GTRs. But with these plastic lights, it's probably easier to get a nicer looking full detail ish car. And yeah, I think this looks really good. Big M3 fan. Lots of detail. Very cool model. I'm sure this will make a really good premium release in the future. Up next, though, another one I was really excited for is a brand new model for 2024, released in the H case. It's the Porsche 904 Carrera GTS. Brand new. Very nice. From the Hot Wheels Exotic line. And here it is. Number 86. Got the, what are those? The deep dish steely wheels? I don't know. Could be butchering that. I forget what they're called. Very nice though. Got those, again, the plastic headlight detail. That's probably the same piece as the windshield. Nothing on the back, but otherwise you get pretty good amount of detail. I really like the almost Zamac-ish silver look with the light blue. Very nice. I won't lie, I was not familiar with the 904 Carrera GTS casting. I looked it up briefly, and I believe it was just a four-cylinder boxer motor. Porsche likes to use their boxer sixes in most of their stuff, but I believe this was I forget what size four-cylinder, but and I don't, once again, could be wrong. Had never heard of this. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if it was a street legal road car or if it was just a race car. But either way, very unique looking Porsche. Doesn't have that typical 911 Porsche look to it. Just a very nice classic race car Porsche. Very excited for this one and to add it to the lineup of Porsche castings. And I don't know if this little piece right here is supposed to be a mirror. I assume it might be, but I don't know why you'd only have one. I could be totally wrong, like I said. But yeah, it's your Porsche logos and not a bad mainline release at all. And last but not least is actually a Matchbox that I already opened, as you can see. And this is the Mazda 2004 Mazda RX-8. I did not know that Matchbox had an RX-8 casting. It could be new. Let me know if you know. I'm sure most of you have seen the Hot Wheels RX-8 casting that they came out with, what was it, last year and then released again this year. And of course, it's a Fast and Furious car, so it's all molested and riced out and early 2000s JDM car look to them, like most of those cars. So it's not my favorite, but this is a much better, in my opinion, example of an RX-8. Matchbox does a really good job of making factory stock looking cars, whereas Hot Wheels usually likes to modify them, make them a race car, as I've said many times. But this is really cool, and it's just a mainline, solid color, very clean, front and back detail. This is the first Matchbox car, or any car for that matter, other than Hot Wheels, that I've uh, looked at on this channel. I do have a number of Matchboxes, maybe, I don't know, not very many, maybe 30 or 40 some Matchboxes. I I like to stay with Hot Wheels. I don't know, just something about them I like better. More exciting, more sets, more exclusive lines and releases. But Matchbox is definitely a great brand for basic mainline castings. Their premium castings can be pretty good too. I don't own very many of those, but they definitely, depending on the car, usually make a better looking, more accurate scale look to their cars than Hot Wheels does, which I very much appreciate, obviously. But yeah, guys, that completes the giant haul, vacation Hot Wheels and Matchbox haul. If you're still with me, I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry this was such a long video, but had a lot to show. And I have plenty of other content in the works to be released later this week, so keep an eye out. We've got some more videos coming. We've got a new 5-pack video coming, as well as some new premium Hot Wheels. I won't mention which ones. You'll have to find out. But yeah, guys, thanks for joining the DieCast Den tonight. And enjoy your night and have a good rest of your week, guys.